Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure here today to introduce you to two young leaders in action, Anna and Mario. My name is Merva Fadul, and I'm a Rotarian with the Rotary Club of New York City, Metro New York City. And I'm here today to moderate a conversation between two inspiring young people. Anna is joining me from New York City, and Mario is joining us from England. Hi, Anna. Hi, Mario.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. So basically, before we start to hear about all the projects you're working on, a brief introduction about myself. As I mentioned, I'm a Rotarian, but before I was a Rotarian, I was a Rotaractor, actually with the club that Anna belongs to, the Rotaract Club at the UN. And I joined that club when I moved to New York City, looking for friends and opportunities to get involved in my community. And little did I know that I would become a lifelong Rotarian and make lifelong friends, along the way. Professionally, I work for UNICEF. I'm a project manager at UNICEF headquarters here in New York City. And basically, throughout my career, I've been involved with young people and youth initiatives. And it's always very inspiring to see the energy that young people bring to the initiatives that, they work on. And basically, when we involve them in kind of problem solving, it's always a lot more effective and efficient. And that's the inspiration we're looking for. So I'm going to start with talking with Anna. Hi, Anna. I know you are a part of the Rotaract Club at the UN. You also are finishing your degree in nursing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'd love to learn more about what personally led you to be involved with Rotaract, and then we'll hear more a bit about the initiatives that you're working on.
Absolutely. So I initially got involved with Rotaract and Rotaract at the United Nations 5 years ago when I moved to New York City. I had just moved to the city and I was looking for people who were inspired to do things. I had a job, I had that niche filled, but I wanted to do more and I wanted to be more involved in my community. And I'd always heard about Rotary and Rotaract, and I had a good friend who was part of the club. So I decided to join, and I've loved it ever since. And I've been a member and been on the board, and I'm so thankful that I joined.
Great, that sounds like a great experience. So tell us a bit more about the Impulsive project, which you started. Take us back to the very beginning, how it started and where it is today.
Yeah, so the Impulsive project started about 5 years ago. I was living in a small area called San Felipe, Guatemala, and I was working in a clinic with malnourished children. And so during that time, I was able to spend a significant amount of time with the parents of the children in the clinic. And through that, I was able to have many conversations with them. And throughout these conversations, I learned about the issues that they faced when it came to cooking over an open fire, and how inhaling all of those fumes led to so many avoidable health issues, and also just the general aspect of the lack of healthcare and access to healthcare that they had, that it took roughly 5 hours to drive to the nearest hospital, which took time and money. So that's kind of where the Impulso project started, based on those conversations with those community members. So we first started off as fundraising for fuel-efficient cook stoves. So fuel-efficient cook stoves reduce smoke emissions by 95%. So that just means less smoke gets trapped into their homes. And we fundraised for this. All of the work we do is 100% by donations or by grants. And so we've been able to distribute over 100 fuel-efficient cook stoves to Guatemala, as well as administer nutrition classes. And both the nutrition classes and the cook stoves are all built by locals, and the nutrition classes are hosted by a local nutritionist. And the same thing in Peru. We designed a specific fuel-efficient stove that was best for the communities in Peru. And we have 3 full communities in the highlands of Cusco, Peru, that all have fuel-efficient cook stoves. All the families in those communities have cook stoves. And since then, we've expanded, and now we're traveling down with medical professionals and giving free medical services. We're setting up mobile clinics in the really remote areas, the same areas where we're distributing the fuel-efficient cook stoves. And Yeah, and so that is how we got involved, and we've partnered with the local Rotaract clubs in Guatemala to help us with the distribution and all of the on-the-ground work, and our Rotaract club at the United Nations has really adopted it and has helped us fundraise for it, and we have so many volunteers from the club that are helping us with the website and the process and whatnot, so it's been really great.
That sounds great. I'm very happy to hear that there's a collaboration between Rotaractors at your club and local Rotaractors as well. As final thoughts, can you let us know what the Rotary family, specifically Rotarians or maybe other Rotaractors, can do to help you with this initiative or to help strengthen your club further?
Mm-hmm. So at the Rotaract Club at the United Nations, after this is having a fundraiser social event, so people can attend that. So again, all of our work is a lot of it is based on donations. So if people would like to donate, but again, we also are in need of volunteers, whether you're a medical professional or just a general volunteer, we would love to have you come down on one of our trips or help out with the website and whatnot. Also just getting the word out that these are issues and they are things that should be talked about. So those are 3 things that I think would be really helpful.
Great. Thank you so much for your time, Anna.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure talking to you. You heard it. She needs, or the club needs volunteers. They need donations, and you can find out more through getting in touch with the Rotaract Club at the United Nations. Next, I would love to introduce Mario. Mario has been an interactor and a Rotaractor and has some very exciting work to tell us more about.
Yeah, the idea for Interchange was quite simple. We thought about the possibility that interactors all around the world could work together to solve certain problems, and the idea was started from a very, very simple thought that we ourselves had. We started as interactors in Austria, and Interact was the first time we got connected with other young people who were in some sense driven by the same idea within Austria, and that's what brought us together. And there was not much to push us to the idea that why can't we connect interactors more broadly, maybe across Europe or even worldwide, if we try to draw on this network, because we realized, okay, Interact is not an organization that's just local to Austria, as one might expect, but there are more than 300,000 interactors all over the world. And we just started with a brute force method. We just reached out to Interact clubs in different countries. We messaged them via social media, via the Rotary clubs, and tried to get in touch with them and tried to find out if this is something they're interested in, like making connections across borders and friendships across borders. And we realized that there's huge interest in that, and no one really understands why this hasn't happened before, because it works very well on the Rotary level, it works great on the Rotaract level, but interactors hadn't been connected in that way before. So we started to put those people together and try to get them into contact. And within a couple of months, this initiative spread further and further into countries across Europe, then in South America, then in North America, Africa, and so on. And we organized events in several countries with up to 600 participants at one time. And I think no interactor will ever forget the experience. I certainly won't forget this experience. So we said, okay, that's amazing. We have this energy going. We have this momentum to have young people do something. Can we channel this in a direction? And that's when we said, okay, we want to focus on a goal that we can achieve. And because we are all young people and we arguably massively benefited from the education that we received, we figured that every child in the world should have this opportunity as well, that maybe made all the difference for us. So we thought about how we can do something to increase the access to education. And that was when we reached out to UNICEF. First to the UNICEF office in Austria, but they quickly passed us on to the UNICEF office in Geneva, because they said, okay, this is actually international, so you might benefit from that. And they said, okay, but you you also have clubs in Latin America, in North America, and so on. Maybe contacts to UNICEF and the United Nations may be more appropriate. And this is how we agreed with UNICEF to work to establish a connection between local Interact clubs and the UNICEF national offices in different countries.
It's extremely inspiring. And yeah, if I can think of the parallels between UNICEF being present in almost every country and territory in the world, and I think Rotary is also present in all of these countries. So it's the synergy is just natural. Any last thoughts about specifically what Rotarians can do, and maybe what other Rotaractors and Interactors who might be listening to us can do to get involved and help support this initiative further?
Yes, two things come to my mind. On the one hand, maybe a piece of advice or a question to Rotarians. If I put myself back in the position of an interactor, I experienced it way too often that just because of my age, because I was 17, people said, "Oh no, this is nothing serious. Like you're not actually doing anything big, so we are not supporting you in the way that would be best." And it took a while for some people were on board immediately. Some people took a couple of months or even years to understand that young people can actually do something that's quite big and makes a difference. So I would recommend to all Rotary clubs not to jump to any conclusions, but to try to encourage interactors to do things in that direction. And for interactors, the most exciting opportunity at the moment with Interchange is probably a very recent development, which is the establishment of a global Interact advisory board that advises the Rotary International Board of Directors, which was just agreed on a couple of months ago. And that was the initial idea of Interchange in the very beginning, that we at some point have this formal representation and this establishment that connects interactors all around the world. And this is actually the next big step that Interact is moving to when the board starts to operate in July. And we hope that this actually finally closes the gap between interactors all over the world. And I encourage everyone to get involved as soon as this opportunity is open.
That sounds amazing. Thank you so much, Mario. Again, very inspiring stories. And I'm very happy to hear about your success and wish you the best as you move forward with this initiative.
Thank you.
So this has been an inspiration for me, and I hope it's been an inspiration for everyone. I think their words speak for themselves when they say get involved, whether, whatever age you are, whatever stage of your career you're in, you can help get involved. So thank you very much. We still have one inspiring story from an interactor in Italy, Jacopo. So let's go to that and hear about his story.
Hello everyone, my name is Jacopo, I'm from Italy and I am the president of the local Interact club of my city, Rimini, as well as a UNICEF volunteer. Throughout this hard months of pandemic, we saw multiple challenges and we decided to take on a few of them. The two main challenges that we decided to face were the sort of technological challenge and the online learning challenge, as well as an environmental one. In fact, we ourselves are students and we saw the importance of having the appropriate equipment to properly not miss on the learning process that the sort of distant online learning brought us to do. In this regard, we worked a lot with local communities, especially underprivileged communities, to make sure that everyone had equal access to the same devices in order not to spur division. In fact, we saw the pandemic as an opportunity to unite our country and our communities, to show solidarity and unity, rather than as a catalyst to further enforce divisions and exacerbate them. The second challenge was the environmental one. Throughout the pandemic, we saw exponential increase in disposable masks and gloves. And although we're really grateful to everyone utilizing masks and other equipment, we do acknowledge the sort of environmental impact that this brings with it. For this reason, we organize multiple events of garbage picking on our local shores, and we are committed to continue to do so. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you guys will have an amazing day. Bye!
Take action as young leaders
with Interact
And with Rotaract today.